Do we just still have a little more to be? Oh, we're live.
You're live now.
Hi, Mom.
How you guys all doing out there? Shankar Singham here at the Libertarian Convention in beautiful Culver City, I believe, California. I'm sitting here with Adam Kokesh and Aaron over here. Aaron is a journalist for the Federalist paper, I believe.
Yeah, I used to be. Yeah.
Used to be with the Federalist paper, and Adam, of course, presidential candidate. And I just want to get your both your opinions on California independence. How it's not a leftist thing, or it's not even a rightist thing. As a libertarian, being in the Libertarian Convention, it's okay to be libertarian and be for California independence. What are your thoughts on that, Adam? Why don't we start with you?
Well, first about libertarianism itself, it's really misunderstood as a political message or idea. It's really an idea about ethics. Don't hit, don't steal, don't kill. Even if you have a badge and a gun or an IRS, job or your politicians, commanders tell you to go kill people on the other side of the planet in the name of the U.S. government. No, these are universal human ethics. And a lot of people in the libertarian movement, I think we've been tricked over the years into playing their game and talking politics and saying it's this issue or that issue. It's like, no, it's the one issue of ethics, self-ownership, voluntarism, the non-aggression principle. You own yourself. It's wrong for anybody, even if they call themselves government, to violate your self-ownership, to violate your freedom and your rights. And so localization, I call it the everybody gets what they want strategy. And it's not about whether government should be a certain thing or not, except should it be more ethical? Should it be more transparent? Should it be more customized to the people it's supposedly serving? And I think if you get government down to the community level where it's voluntary, because a community is something you can choose to be a part of or choose to leave, that's the ultimate goal of libertarianism, is to make the world a more ethical place. Nothing less than a world set free in our lifetime, because if you're not being treated unethically, your freedom's respected. You have that. That's amazing. And about the conservative liberal thing here, one of the things as a libertarian I want to communicate to middle America more is, please separate your aesthetics, how you want your community to look, how you want society to be organized, what kind of institutions you want in your community, your aesthetics versus your ethics. If you want that, cool, I want you to have that. Can you get it ethically? I might not want to live in the same community as you, but I want you to have the right, as long as you're doing it peacefully, to create whatever community meets your needs based on your values.
Absolutely, absolutely. Aaron, your article was fantastic on why the left actually should support CALEXIT, but why don't you take a little bit, why should the left and the right both be supporting California independence?
Yeah, so I think there's a lot of overlap in the American conservative tradition and libertarianism. The idea of being anti-war, the non-aggression principle, all that stuff. I think we risk another civil war. I hate even calling it civil war, but we risk another war like the war between the states by remaining together. And I think independence would be better for all of us. Like you were talking about local government, actual voluntary government. Most people believe we're all beholden to the federal government, and there's no way out of this system that's making us all miserable and that we all hate. So yeah, to me, it's not even a left-right thing. Being conservative has more to do with caring about community and organic tradition and freedom, especially as an American conservative. So, yeah.
One of the misconceptions about California independence is that it's California liberals who just want to get away from Trump to have California be even more hyper-liberal, as if Trump is holding California government from getting any bigger. Again, that's obviously not true. What is the effect of the federal government on California? It's that it empowers corruption, it empowers a bloated bureaucracy. So what was shocking to me that I learned at the conference 2 weeks ago in Sacramento was that California independence makes even a liberal California government so much more efficient, so much more transparent, so much more accountable that even a conservative should say, hey, if I'm going to live in a liberal land, if I got to live in California because I like the beaches, you know, and I don't like that we have a liberal government, but hey, if we were an independent liberal government, it wouldn't be nearly as disgusting, overgrown, and connected to the federal government that makes it worse. And it's not. There are plenty of people in California who are like, hey, Trump, not my president, and in that case, cool too, be part of the cause. Yeah. But again, when I started running on the platform of dissolving the federal government, there were a lot of questions. Well, what about this? And every single one. When I go, all right, how do I apply these basic principles? You go, wow, that makes it better for everyone. Like California independence, like even if it goes a little bit more liberal in flavoring some ways, it's gonna be so much better for conservatives in California. That was like a mind-blowing revelation for me.
Absolutely, the notion that we're gonna. If California independence happens, there will be this mass exodus. When it happens, this mass exodus forcibly of all conservatives off from California. That's absolutely un-Californian. We don't want people leaving California. We want more people coming to California. There's a direct correlation between population and GDP. The higher population, the higher GDP. So we want an influx of more people. Yep. We don't want that one-track-minded philosophy with people. We want different ideas coming from different sides coming into the state. That's what makes this state great. That's what makes us different. That's what makes us a leader in every chance. So these notions that I've heard here, in fact, about. In fact, I was interviewed by a college reporter who said, "What is your response to libertarians who feel that once California is independent, it will become communist?" Now.
You mean more communist, technically?
More communist.
And hold on, I got to point out for people who are familiar with my perspective, Trump is a socialist. Right. Like, I'm not saying that because I'm a libertarian. I'm saying that because I'm honestly looking at his policies and his support of socialized medicine that he ran on, maintaining all of the existing federal socialist policies. No, and we shouldn't be even looking at forcing our aesthetics on other people. But hey, if you want to live that way, live and let live.
Yeah, and I mean, I really like that motto, live and let live, because if you look at any issue that conservatives claim they care about, like pro-life or something like that, they're terrified, you know, if we leave, we're just going to become this, you know, pro-abortion state. Well, look at how much good the federal government and the Constitution has actually done in championing pro-life causes. So it's done virtually nothing. The Republican Party has monetized the issue, and they've garnered all this religious support that they don't deserve. I mean,
it's for lip service too when it comes to policy.
Exactly. Yeah. And so we need to be able to deal with these issues as Californians. And that doesn't mean everything's going to be perfect, but at least we can argue with each other, and we don't have to get into this horrible duality at the national level. It's ruining everyone's lives. So,
yep, absolutely. I wanted to ask you guys though, in regards to the communism thing. I mean, how do you combat this propaganda? I mean, who is saying all this stuff? Like, where does it come from that, you know, this pro-abortion, like we're going to be killing babies all day and
Facebook.
I mean, and that
if you want to solve all of America's problems, get off Facebook.
I mean, I've heard stories of rampant Muslim groups running in LA, killing people. I've heard our hospitals are just crowded and packed in decrepit condition that can't serve the public because of all the illegals coming in. Who is spewing this garbage? I mean, are they here? I mean,
we don't have the money in the Libertarian to spew garbage at that scale of advertising. We would if we could. No, but here this is a byproduct of centralization. If you're disconnected from your government, how do you find out about it? You can't trust your own experience of just you can't go to the local jail and be like, oh yeah, my neighbor who's an asshole, he's locked up this week. Oh, at least they're doing their job. But there's no potheads in there. There's nobody in there for victimless crimes. All right, cool. You know, like you have that connection with with really hyper-localized government. I mean, more than what we think of it today, really community level. But when it's, oh, I'm going to vote on who's going to preside over America, who's going to be king of America or queen. Like, I have to, as an average American voter, I have to form an opinion about all of this stuff that I have no idea about. And if you can scare me one way or another, well, hey, worked for Trump.
Here's my the other question that the college kid asked me was who do you think is going to win the president of the United States? Do you think it's going to be Bernie Sanders? And I just responded, I don't care. It doesn't matter to me who wins.
Yes.
Because I don't see what they're going to do for my state. If nothing's going to change.
Well, I'm the only one who's going to give you exactly what you want for CALEXIT, right? So
Exactly.
There is one. No, and hey,
right here.
yeah, no, and if I may, for again, people who aren't familiar with my platform, it's to dissolve the federal government in a bankruptcy process, resign on day one, declare the authority illegitimate from the very beginning, and disown the debt, because it's intergenerational child abuse to force people to pay for something that they never had a say in. Just that we accept this premise, even, it's insane. So, yeah, I'm the, believe it or not, I'm the only candidate running on this platform. But really, it's the only realistic one. Is keeping the federal government going realistic at this point? And I love your attitude. Does it matter who the president is? Already, what we see as the natural course of human progress is decentralization, overthrowing authority through innovation. Whether you're a liberal or conservative, like, hey, if you can do it for yourself, can we not turn to the violent people in government who accidentally send SWAT teams to the wrong addresses every now and then, who bomb the wrong countries, like it just start illegal? Can we not trust them with these important functions? It's happening. It's a good time to be alive. Yeah. And so what I think is going to happen is that in 2020, the Libertarian Party, with a message like this that really unites people across aesthetic ideologies, is that we can get 10%. We can have a breakout year. And that will be not just a breakout for the LP, but for localization. And by 24, every single American will have to have an opinion on whether America would be better off without the federal government.
Yeah.
And I guarantee, if every American takes the time to consider that, goes, geez, yeah, wow, my state, okay, yeah. Wow, and you actually go, wow, how much, wow, that's going to be so much better, and it's going to take that much time. People do need to accept a new paradigm of government, to go away from centralization to decentralization, but it's happening. It's happening inevitably, and I love coming and seeing that you guys have become a movement in California.
In speaking of the Libertarian Party, I mean, and walking around and meeting everybody, Adam, honestly, I mean, how many of these people would you say are libertarians and not Republicans who got tired of the Republican brand and decided to switch over to say that they're libertarian in name only?
Hey, Democrats who are tired of the Democratic Party are welcome in the Libertarian Party too. And there's plenty of them here. There is an apparent synergy. I think it was that Ron Paul, God bless him, did such a good job of bringing in people from the right who are inclined to libertarianism. If anything, we're kind of right-heavy as a movement. I'll admit that. But it's not because the ideology attracts more people from the right. It's just that recent history.
Right.
People from the left, I mean, are inherently of a more compassionate mindset when it comes to politics.
Sure.
Compassionate conservatism, that was W's brand, he'll argue. Right. But there's, in politics, there's an inclination to compassion. And I think when it comes to presenting libertarianism, not as this uncaring, we want to pull the rug out. No, like we want an orderly transition to a less violent, more just society. We don't want to pull the rug out from underneath anybody. We're the real bleeding hearts. We're the real hippies. Like, Democrats got y'all fooled into thinking they're the cool kids. No, it's really us here with the Libertarian Party who back up what we say and live it, and we're the ones saying, hey, universal nonviolence. What's freedom? Like, the Democrats and the Republicans both will say, we're for freedom. And they'll never define it.
No.
And when it comes down to defining it, what is freedom? What is a free world? A world of universal non-violence, pure cooperation, a voluntary society. No one on the left is going to argue with that. You know, they're just trapped. They're in this mental trap that the Democrats have them fooled into, and government in general as an establishment has them fooled into thinking that we can only get what we want if we use the violence and coercion of government. And it's like, no, there's a better way, always without the violence. I mean, that's
absolutely
my message to every statist. Like, whatever it is that you want out of government, whatever you think you are getting or can get, you will get it better with a non-violent, cooperative solution than a coercive, violent solution.
That's a great point, Adam. Case in point, these mass shootings that have been happening. Now 80% of Americans on both sides of the aisle want some sort of gun reform to happen in light of these shootings. Congress has done absolutely nothing. Democrats have done nothing. The Republicans have done nothing. And again,
no, they've wasted a lot of our money while maintaining the status quo.
Because again,
that's
as you
the
said,
point.
universal nonviolence is not an ideal that they hold to. The minute that there's a war, they're all in it because that's their moneymaker. That's how they're going to do. And again, they'd not behold to the local communities. And if it was at the localized level, we wouldn't even have to bring up this issue of gun control. It wouldn't be a national issue like it is. So I absolutely agree with you on that concept. But I had another question for you. It's so awesome, man. God damn it, I totally forgot.
How awesome is localization? It's that awesome, Shankar. It's so awesome, you forget your questions because you go, yeah, I get what I want. And you just start fantasizing about what it would be like if government was in your community and you had everything that you could possibly want out of it.
Oh, man.
You're welcome.
Thank you. You're right. Oh, this was my point. So you're right.
I should get in there,
What's
guys.
happening?
I actually, as a delegate here, I am needed on the floor here. So,
Adam, thank you very much. I will show you my example of telling another libertarian that I'm more libertarian than him, and it was funny. And
all right,
use your example, but
good luck in there, man.
Oh,
yeah.
for
I think it's for
where'd you get that?
I think I got the only button.
I gotta go over the quorum call.
I need one question. I'm sorry, one question. Adam, you're at the California Libertarian Party. Could you duck down a little?
Oh.
You're
going
at
to
the,
Disneyland.
30 seconds. You're at the California Libertarian Party convention. Has anybody here come with a plan on reducing regulations by 50% and removing all federal government regulation? Anybody here at this convention, except for CALEXIT, actually show up with a plan today?
I would say most of the presidential candidates actually are on board with that general direction. Of course, mine for eliminating the federal government entirely certainly covers those bases. But yeah, I hope you see how friendly this crowd is to CALEXIT. That like that you should. I'm really excited that this connection is being made here.
I haven't seen any Nazis.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Okay, we're done. Thank you.
Picture.